I would say this GoRuck is like a 1985 Toyota truck. Sure, it's going to outlive you, but it won't come with air conditioning or power windows. Hello friends, I'm Ken, and this is the Bag Bench. All right, so here's what the GoRuck double compartment 18-liter Bullet Ruck Heritage Edition is trying to be. GoRuck, of course, has Special Forces roots. They've got their SCARS lifetime guarantee, which just means something on the bag breaks, you just send it in and they'll take care of it for you. The Heritage line is all made of waxed canvas. They've got a few pieces. This is like a microscopic version of their GR2 Heritage. It's got tactical DNA in its construction, but not in its looks. On their website, they call out the strongest possible canvas with 170 years of heritage. And I did find that the fabric used on this bag was pretty awesome. It has a bomb-proof laptop compartment. And we're going to get into that laptop compartment later, but it was one of my biggest complaints on the bag. On this bag, they include the quick access pocket, which they call out for sunglasses, keys, and things like that. And then this bag is separated into two compartments. Let's get this thing on the bench and see how it does. All right, so the first thing to note is that it will stand on its own, although it's got pretty good lean to it. And in my testing, it fell over a lot. So I actually marked the standing on its own as a fail. Right now I've got a cap 2 in the bottom laying down and super heavy. And that's really what's keeping this thing upright right now. But if I had a fully loaded lunchbox that I pulled out, or if I had to pull out that cap 2 to grab something, it's going on its face. I also check for the laptop pocket, and we're going to talk more about this laptop pocket. It technically does have a padded laptop sleeve that'll fit a pretty good sized laptop, probably up to a 15-inch. This is an older 13-inch that I've got in here right now. And then the last thing that I'm checking for is whether or not it'll fit my loadout, and surprisingly, it did. This is a smaller pack, an 18-liter as GoRuck claims. And I was pretty impressed that it fit my loadout. Now, before we get into the meat of the review, I want to talk about something pretty exciting for me. This is going to be the first video to introduce my new benchmark system. So let me explain benchmarks to you. Every bag that comes through the bench will be measured against other bags in their category. The best score in each category and bag type will be what's called a benchmark. That's the score to beat for the next bag. And it's going to turn these individual reviews into a running standard. That way, anytime you watch one of my videos, you'll know what the bag is up against, what it has to beat, and whether or not it can. Now, good, great, excellent, best, they're not just abstract terms. You're going to know in the video whether or not a bag really is the best at something, or where it stacks up against its competition. Now, technically, the Raven review that I posted recently would be the benchmark for the compact EDC category. But since I had to return that bag to Tiffany at Night Shift EDC, and this is the first bag in the new benchmarks series, we're going to say this is the first bag to come through as a benchmark contender. So every score recorded today won't just be the bag score, it'll be the score to beat for the next compact EDC bag I review. Some of the scores this thing posts will be easy to beat, and some of them will set a true mark to aim for. We're going to start with usability and access, the first category. And this thing does pretty well. You can see I've got it loaded out with my normal everyday carry, my lunchbox, my cap 2, and then we move into that second compartment. It's got a pocket on the front here, and then a pretty thick pocket on the back that we're going to talk about in just a bit. Quick access here on the top of the bag. Not super deep. It's well placed though in front of the laptop compartment and doesn't steal a lot of room from the inner compartment. You can see it right there. This front pocket here is just a big blank slate. I've got my notebook pouch in there right now for quick access to that. And then we get to one of my biggest challenges with this bag, the laptop compartment. GoRuck locates their laptop compartments for the most part on the back of the bag, and you have to flip the straps over to get to them. It's got a single zipper, and honestly, things would probably be better if it had a second zipper located right down here at the bottom, but it doesn't. So again, you can see my laptop goes in and out, no problem. And instinctively, I just reached for that zipper that just isn't there. Having to flip the shoulder straps out of the way to get to it, fighting with that zipper positioning, this all kind of adds to the friction of the bag. I was not a big fan of using this at work because of that. My laptop is in and out of my bag a lot, and this thing just didn't perform. Now, the zippers were all excellent quality and easy enough to use, even being coated zippers all the way around the outside of the bag. They were super smooth, and I didn't hate those at all. I'm usually not a big fan of coated zippers. These were pretty great. Now, some friction with usability access and sort of the outside of the bag. There's no external loops on the outside of the bag, on the straps, around the handle, anywhere for me to hang my AirPods or my work keys. There's no admin panel, so I was using pouches kind of for everything with this bag, which is sort of the way GoRuck positions it. And then there were some pockets that were basically unusable for what I would use them for, and we're going to get into that when we start talking about capacity. So for usability and access, the GoRuck gets a score of 6.7 out of 10 overall, sets the benchmark. This one should be pretty easy to beat. All right, so let's go ahead and get into capacity and organization, since I already alluded to it with those pockets that were pretty unusable. Now, this is pretty big for an 18-liter bag. I was very surprised that it fit all my stuff. Does a pretty good job with depth efficiency and then sharing the volume between those two big compartments. The big problem for me came with the water bottle. I do carry a water bottle every single day, and if we try to load it in there, it just doesn't really work. I assume I could use the secondary compartment. Now I'm struggling to open that. But again, since I have to use a cap too to make this thing lay down, it doesn't zip back up very nicely. I'm going to be honest, at $235, I expect my work backpack to have some sort of solution for my water bottle. And then there was this pocket that everyone gets so excited about, but I didn't find super useful. The zippers are too long to stay at the top middle. I could have used this as a second quick access pocket if they were shorter zippers, or if the pocket was just a little bit lower on the bag. But as it stands, you can see they're going to get in the way of the zipper track. And also, there's some pocketing in here that is just too shallow to use for anything. Here I've got a MagSafe power bank. Can't use that. That sticks up above the zipper track, as you see. My wallet, again, can't use it. I guess I could use it for a power brick and then lay the cables in here. It just wasn't super clear what this pocket was meant for. Now, another thing I rate for is what I call device coexistence, and that's the ability for my work bag to integrate both my laptop, which you saw, not a huge fan of that compartment, and my iPad. The problem with this bag is that I'm going to have to unload it and unzip it every time to get to my iPad, which is right back here in this pocket. It's got a little bit of built-in organization that you could use for storing cables and things like that. Those usually go into my tech pouch though. The bag did score high marks for its layout clarity. Because everything is sort of behind zippers and meshed pockets and things like that, it lays out super clearly. But again, because of the water bottle situation on the bag, I was trying to work around things a lot more than I usually would. So for capacity and organization, unfortunately, the GoRuck only gets a 6.6 out of 10. A lot of that's because of how much I had to work around that water bottle. But next we move into some of the high marks for the bag, comfort and carry. Now this is where the GoRuck double compartment Bullet Ruck Heritage nonsense name would be setting some really high marks for the compact EDC category. Because it's a GoRuck, it's super comfortable. It's got nicely padded straps with a great shape to them, nice J shape to them, soft edges on there, and it just kind of curves naturally into the shoulders. They're just really well made shoulder straps. The back panel is super comfortable. You can see they've got some patterning here that I guess is supposed to help with airflow. It doesn't do a great job. But then they've got some padding down here to protect your lower back and let it settle in. This is genuinely a very nice back panel unless it's hot outside. It got great marks for the loaded comfort. Because it's a GoRuck, it's made to carry a lot of weight and still be comfortable. This one shines there. And then likewise with weight distribution, because GoRuck has its roots in rucking, they're made to distribute weight really, really well. And this one, again, shines. The grab handle, not the most comfortable, but it does have the nice leather accenting. It's got a bit of padding on the bottom with some stitching. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't awesome. And then back panel airflow, as I already told you, was pretty well awful. It is summer in St. Louis, super humid, and I was very sweaty after taking a walk with this bag. Now, the other thing to call out, there's nowhere for a sternum strap on here. So if you like to cycle with your bag or just to keep the shoulder straps closer together, this one does not accommodate that at all. So comfort and carry got an 8.4 out of 10, and that's a genuinely good score and something for the next compact EDC bag to aim for. The next category I rate in is build, durability, and aesthetics. And again, this bag did really well. It's a GoRuck, it's built super strong, and this one looks really great. That heritage look is awesome. All the waxed canvas, the coyote zippers, the leather patch, the leather accent here, the leather bottom panel. The bag looks fantastic and got great marks for aesthetics. Because it's a GoRuck, it's built really strong, stitched really well, feels like it's going to hold up a lot longer in life than I will, and so it got great marks there too. And then it would have gotten better weather resistance ratings, but waxed canvas isn't the greatest for weather resistance. If you're in a heavy rain, it'll kind of soak through, and it'll definitely leave staining on the bag if you don't hurry up and wipe it down after the rain. It does tend to hold its shape pretty well. As you can see, it's not fully loaded anymore and still looks like a backpack. The noise and jangle factor was super low because they use these heat shrink wrapped zippers and then the coated zipper tracks. It does really well at not being a very loud bag, and canvas is naturally quiet. I did mark it down pretty significantly for the choice of interior liner. Let me show you what I'm talking about with that. We're going to open up the main compartment, and you may have noticed it earlier. It's got a canvas interior, which is pretty unique. I don't think I've had a premium bag with a canvas interior. It will patina well, but part of that patina is going to be staining, having to load the water bottle into a compartment and then having it directly up against canvas. It's not going to be great if your water bottle sweats or anything like that. It's going to leave some water staining on this canvas interior. But the overall bag is going to patina well. Wax canvas is just absolutely beautiful after a life of use. One other thing that I marked it down for in this category was the fact that there are no strap keepers, which is just insane to me. At $235, a piece of elastic here would have went a long way. Or even better, let's put some more leather accenting like we have for the grab handle and the bottom of the bag. But the overall aesthetics of the bag is absolutely phenomenal with the leather, the coyote zips, as I said, even the strapping looks great. The webbing looks awesome against the olive green color. So build, durability, and aesthetics got an 8.3 out of 10. Again, it would have been a lot higher if they had just chosen to throw some elastic or leather down here or chosen a different liner material other than canvas. Just a crazy choice. All right, so next let's talk value. And the $235 double compartment Heritage Bullet Ruck would fit into what I'm calling the premium tier. And going forward, Bags will earn value badges based on where they land in those tiers and how they score. This one, not going to earn any badges, unfortunately, because of its overall score. But here's what $235 is going to get you. It's going to get you a beautiful wax canvas and leather bag. It's going to get you hardware and construction that is truly top of the game. One of the best carry feels in this size class. I usually struggle with bags under 20 liters with the way they feel, especially when they're loaded out. And the double compartment Bullet Ruck is fantastic. And it's going to be a bag that people notice, including yourself. You're going to look at this bag and think, wow, that's a great looking bag with the leather, the coyote colored zips, the strapping. It all really sets the bag off, makes it look super classy. It's a great looking bag. And in addition to that, it's got some of the more modern GoRuck features, like that layout clarity with all the pocketing, the double compartment, things like that. It is truly a sight to behold, but it is missing a lot of modern conveniences. So let's talk about that next. Here's what $235 doesn't buy you in this double compartment Bullet Ruck. A water bottle solution of any kind, external or internal. And in fact, on like a GR1, you'd have some webbing over here on the side where you could attach a water bottle holder. That's missing here. An admin panel or any sort of real tech management, that stuff's not going to be found here. A laptop compartment that's actually usable for people who take their laptop in and out of their bag, just not an awesome solution. $235 doesn't even buy you a second zipper on the laptop compartment. It won't buy you strap keepers, apparently. And it won't buy you a bag that stands on its own when you start to unload it. This bag starts to get really front heavy, and it tips over a lot. All right, so let's talk about who this bag might be for. This is going to be a bag for someone who wants something that ages into a beautifully patinaed piece of gear, a genuine minimalist, or someone who really works their pouch game hard, and someone who prioritizes how a bag carries over how well it organizes or lets you get to your laptop. And then the other thing I would actually think about using this bag for is maybe as a personal item on an airline. I don't need a water bottle when I travel by airplane. But then who it's not for. Anyone who carries a water bottle, obviously. People like me who are in and out of their laptop compartment a lot in multiple locations throughout the day. I found that to be a genuine inconvenience. Anyone looking for their bag to do the organizing for them. I did okay with my Cap 2 because I keep my pouch pretty well organized. But if you're expecting the bag to bring the organization system, this isn't it. People who work standing up or are in transit a lot, the bag does fall on its face quite a fair bit, depending on the load. And then someone looking for modern conveniences. I would say this GoRuck is like a 1985 Toyota truck. Sure, it's going to outlive you, but it won't come with air conditioning or power windows. So overall, the GoRuck Heritage Double Compartment 18-liter Bullet Ruck got a 7.3 out of 10, which isn't a terrible score. So in the end, the GoRuck Double Compartment Bullet Heritage 18-liter, this bag is something that I can definitely respect. It's built really, really well, but I don't think it's something I would want to live with. It fails a couple deal breakers right out of the gate. So even though the materials are fantastic and the carrying comfort is excellent, it's just not something I think I'll keep around. But the right person is going to love this bag for the things that I find frustrating. The simplicity, the way it organizes. Even something like the laptop compartment being so hard to get into. If you're traveling with this bag, that's a genuine plus. But for me, I just can't get behind this design philosophy. GoRuck built something beautiful and tough and left all the modern conveniences on the cutting room floor. Once again, I'm Ken. You've been watching The Bag Bench. I'll see you out there. The GoRuck Double Compartment 18-liter Heritage Bullet Ruck Soup. The GoRuck Double Compartment Bullet Ruck Heritage 18-liter. Good Lord, GoRuck, come on with your names. GoRuck Double Compartment Bullet Ruck Heritage nonsense name. The GoRuck Double Compartment Bullet Heritage 18-liter. This bag